Okay, we're good on this one. We're good here. What's up, guys? Jordan Bain here. Just a quick podcast. We're going to start doing a bit of a mini-series more than anything else, just to give everyone a bit of an insight in terms of what I'm seeing on the ground. And basically, yeah, I'm getting a lot of questions really around marketing and what should you be doing, what shouldn't you be doing. So rather than just answer the questions one-on-one with those particular people, I thought it'd be best to spread the love a little bit. And obviously, if anyone is watching or listening, depending on what platform you're listening or watching on, will depend on how much value you get out of it. So let's start with what sort of marketing should I be doing, if any? Now, the first question usually I get is should I pull back or should I speed up my marketing during this period? First point of call we need to discuss is let's think about, number one, your competitors. Your competitors are more than likely, if you're considering pulling back, your competitors are more than likely almost guaranteed to be pulling back in marketing. Now, that goes for everything. That goes for prospecting. So phone calls won't be happening. So outbound prospecting isn't happening in that aspect. Letterbox drops more than likely aren't happening as well. I'm definitely not getting any letterbox drops at the moment at my place. So I'd probably assume that it's the same across the board. Door knocks, without a doubt, they certainly aren't happening. So basically, your competition isn't really prospecting at the moment, which leaves a wide open door for anyone to come in and walk straight through that wide open door. When it comes to social media marketing as well, digital marketing, you'd almost assume that most people who were doing it previously weren't doing it correctly. So they would have been probably spending a fortune for next to no leads. So you can almost guarantee that was one of the first things that they dropped was social media or digital marketing, because they just wouldn't have been able to see the value in it. So again, that leaves a bit of an opportunity there for you if you are in an area where some of your competitors are doing social media marketing or digital marketing. It basically means that, again, the door's wide open for you to snatch up that market share in that aspect or in that platform. So the simple answer to the question, let's say, for example, the question is, should I stop marketing? No, you certainly should not, mainly because, one, your competition is probably not marketing. But second to that as well, it's important to probably recognize that people are at home, right? So I'm getting distracted. A couple of things going on here. So, people are at home. People are in isolation or in lockdown or, not working or unemployed or whatever it might be. So that basically means they're going to be spending more time on their devices. Laptops, if they're working from home, it means their browser history may not be monitored as much as what it used to be. So basically, look, the long story short there is there's so many reasons to start marketing or to double down on your marketing opposed to stopping marketing, okay? I can't think of one benefit to stop marketing. The only benefit that you might have is the cost that's involved. However, if you printed out your bank statement and actually went through how many subscriptions you have and how many costs you have going out, that's your first step. Do that. Go and print off your bank statement for the last 6 months. Do the last 2 quarters. And then go through it with a fine-tooth comb. And look at how much money you're spending. Well, number one, I can always guarantee that you're spending a lot less money on coffees, and you're certainly spending less money on fuel, right? So you're saving some costs there, for one. But you probably need to cut costs in other avenues before cutting costs in marketing, right? I'm kind of going around in circles now, but essentially, I can't see why you'd want to cut back on marketing, because I've just given you half a dozen reasons as to why you should start or double down. But anyway, look, let's move forward. I've kind of gone around in circles there a little bit and probably bored the shit out of you to a degree in that regard. So let's talk about what sort of marketing you should be doing. So I posted in our Facebook group, which is a private group. You are more than welcome to jump into that group if you like, provided you work in real estate. We are a little bit strict on if you work in real estate or not. But anyway, Facebook. So real estate ad hacks. Real estate ad hacks. If you're watching, I'll give you a little, I don't know if you'll be able to see it. Real estate ad hacks. Can't even zoom, so don't worry about it. Do you know what? Real estate ad hacks. AD hacks. HACKS. Join the group if you're not already. So, anyway, I posted something a couple of weeks ago, which is probably quite important in the scheme of things of where we are right now. I've given how many tips have I given? I've given 6 tips. The question is, what are you doing to keep your brand visible during this COVID-19 period? Now, obviously, keeping in mind, to reiterate a few things I said before, I'll just read out what I wrote. There is a fine line of integrity that we need to walk with regards to prospecting, correct? I'm sure we can all agree with that. And I've even spoken with agents about homeowners being angry that they're not sanitizing their hands while letterbox dropping. Now, that's obviously a few weeks ago that I posted this, so I can almost guarantee that you've stopped letterbox drops altogether now. So I've outlined a few suggestions for you below, okay? So I'm going to read those out for you right now. The number one thing you should be doing is create a mini-series. Okay, so what I mean by that, 5 videos over 5 weeks. Or 5 videos over 5 days, 3 videos over a week, whatever it might be. Create a mini-series, okay? This video, now, if you're listening on podcasts, you won't see the video. But if you're watching the video on Facebook or social media, you can see the video, right? So my video is simply recorded on an iPhone. Yes, I've got this cool little mic down here, which is Bluetooth, which connects to all my shit going on. You don't necessarily need that. If you're listening on here right now, you could probably listen and go, doesn't even sound like he's talking into a microphone. It sounds like he's talking into his phone anyway. So really, this little microphone here is probably pretty... You don't need this. You can just record straight from your phone. Anyway, record a mini-series. I want to give you the exact content ideas to record on your mini-series. So listen up. Number 1, record a mini-series. 5 videos over 5 days is what I suggest, okay? So let's go through it. Number 1. If you're a buyer during the COVID-19 crisis and your advice. Now, I'm not going to outline my advice for you right now because you're the expert. My taste on things my twist on things is going to be different to yours. Just think of something to say. You're an agent. Surely you talk about this shit every day as it is anyway. So number 1, if you're a buyer during the COVID-19 period, how do you navigate your way through? Do you know, obviously, it's going to be all private inspections, talk about the market, the market potentially is dropping, but if you can buy now, you can potentially buy at a lesser value or lesser competition or whatever you want to say, right? Maybe don't talk about lesser value because if your sellers watch that, they're going to be upset. But anyway, I'm sure they already know it anyway. So video number 1, started on a Monday, right? I'm releasing this on a Friday as is, right? So here you go, get your shit ready over the weekend. Start recording on Monday. Monday's video, how to navigate your way through this market if you're a buyer. Number 2, you guessed it, how to navigate your way through this market if you're a seller. So again, give your tips on what you would recommend if you're talking to your best friend, your mother, your father, your brother, your uncle, your neighbor, whatever it might be. Talking to someone at a barbecue, give that advice. And be yourself. Don't be prim and proper and whatever else, right? People know you're working from home. Wear a t-shirt for all I care, right? Who cares? So, video number 1 on a Monday, navigating for a buyer. And there are going to be buyers in this market. That's what you need to understand as well. Keep in mind that someone might have already sold. They don't want to go and rent. They don't want to double move. So they need to buy. So there are going to be people who need to buy in this market. So give them advice. Second to that, there are going to be people who need to sell. Much like, if they might have already bought a property, they can't afford to carry 2 mortgages at once, so they need to sell. Give them advice on how to navigate their way through this market. That is gold, people. Absolute gold. People, if you're a vendor and you're a first-time vendor, you need advice. They're just begging for someone to grab their hand and take them through this process. That could be you. What else are you doing? Sitting at home? Scrolling through Facebook, patting your dogs. I don't know. Anyway, Monday, buyers. Tuesday, sellers. Wednesday, let's go all out. Let's talk about landlords as well. Because I tell you what, If they don't find tenants, what are they doing? They're selling, right? So Wednesday needs to be navigating your way through this market if you're a landlord, okay? Talk about, I don't know what state you're in. I'm in Queensland. Our state government has just been talking heaps of shit recently about swinging favour in terms, swinging all the favour in terms of the tenant, and landlords are basically getting stitched up to a royal degree. Anyway, they're basically it's going through the state government at the moment. It probably won't pass, but anyway, they're talking about it. So talk about that. Just educate them. Let them know what's happening. One of my guys in my agency, you know, I've got an agency on the Sunshine Coast. They just yesterday listed a property that they were considering selling it, or so they were considering renting it, and the part of the world that we sell property in, or that my guys sell property in, he's taken a hit in the rental market. Probably most places have taken a bit of a hit in the rental market, right? So just talk about that. They end up changing their mind and going, look, to be honest, we can't be bothered dealing with that crap at the moment. Let's just sell it, get rid of it. You know, in 6 months' time, the market might be at a absolute down, and we might be able to buy another property at a low price, right? So again, just navigate them through that. So Monday, buyers; Tuesday, sellers; Wednesday, landlords. Fourth one, just do a general one. Current state of the market. There's people sitting on their ass at the moment who aren't buying or selling, or aren't landlords, but probably considering selling in the new financial year or next year or whatever it might be. So just talk about the current state of the market. What is your perception on where you see the market going? And give an honest understanding, right? You're an expert. Don't sit there and think, oh, I can't say the wrong thing, because if I say the wrong thing, it might come back and bite me on the ass. Number one, people are going to forget about it. But number two, who gives a shit? Have some balls to put it on the line and give your opinion. People want to know your opinion. And to be honest, people might actually appreciate that you've got the balls to put your opinion out there. The way I see it, I see the market going down before it goes up, but it will go back up, and I think we're going to see a spike. So here's my honest advice. Here's what I'm telling my friends, family, and neighbours, right? My advice is the market's going to drop, right? It's at the current state of the market. You know, we probably haven't really seen prices drop yet as such, because quite frankly, it takes 4 to 6 weeks for a property to settle, which basically means REA and domain sales stats don't update for 4 to 6 weeks. RP data, price finder, those sorts of numbers don't collaborate into the data feeds for 4 to 6 weeks after the property has sold, correct? Yes. So it basically means that the current state of the market, if you're a seller, is fine. If you have a $500,000 property, in my opinion, we're selling it at $500,000, right? So if a buyer comes through and says, I want to give you, 420, I'd be sitting there going, where are you pulling that number from? And he says, or she says, well, the market's dropped. It's COVID-19, blah, 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 blah. I'd say straight back to him, well, where's your evidence to suggest, obviously I'm going to take their offer, quick disclaimer, I'm taking their offer regardless, I'm presenting to the owner, blah, 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 right? Agents talking to agents here, let's be straight. I'm saying back to them, where are you getting the sales evidence from? Where are you getting the number of 420 from? All the sales evidence suggests the market is still at 500,000. Here's 10 sales to provide evidence that the market's still at 500,000. Now, until those sales start coming through and dropping down, then quite frankly, there's no evidence to suggest the market has dropped, right? Bingo. So, talk about that. I don't know, there's my opinion. It's up to you what you want to say. What are we up to? That's 4 days. Fifth day. Oh, look, the fifth day is more around how the market will react. So there you go. On a Friday, talk about how you think the market's going to react once all the dust settles. Okay, so the people who are selling in 2021 or, thinking about downsizing in 2022, whatever it might be, talk about past property booms and crashes and things like that, right? Talk about when an election comes around. When an election comes around, I don't care where you are in Australia, there's usually some side effects to the election, right? It's pretty quiet up until the election, and then once the election happens, then people kind of cruise again after that. So talk about that. Talk about past histories and things like that. Anyway, this is blown out. I'm already at 15 minutes. I'm not going to talk about points 2, 3, 4, 5, whatever else it is just yet. I'm going to do that in another episode because I'm trying to keep things short and sharp here. Plus, I'm at home and I can smell my lunch cooking right now, so it might be burning. Anyway, talk to you soon. Ciao. Thanks for tuning in.